Good morning, my brothers and sisters. You know, it's always an honor when I'm called upon, because you know Reverend Sylvia calls me her go-to. And I like that. And somehow, some way, it always kind of manages to work itself out, you know? We never know when we are called upon to do something, but you know what? When you can make a difference, be the difference. When you called upon, answer the call. I wanted to do a little light note before we go into the talk, and I wanted to give a special to Dolores Gabriel. She was special to me. She was one of the very first people I met when I came to this church. She opened her home to me when I wrote my very first book, The 4 Ingredients to Spiritual Peace. She was the first person to say, I want to have a book signing for you at my house. She was special. She epitomized style and grace, didn't she? Her nails were always done. Her lips were always red. She was amazing. And she could crochet and knit. Like, I have things in my closet that she knitted for me, a poncho, beautiful poncho. And when her husband called me on Thursday to tell me she had made her transition, he said, you were special to her. And I just want to send a shout out into the ether that she was special to me too. Now, as for you, Miss Thing, okay? Did you know my talk title for this morning? This scary. You know what I mean? The universe is always shifting. You know, like in the Matrix, they do this, and, you know, they bring these things together because I was like, oh, Richard must have told her. Dr. Payne must have told her. And I'm like, wow. And how often does that happen? You know, you show up thinking, you know, you're going to do one thing, and I just literally found out I was doing this 2 days ago, okay? So for us to come into this, you know, and she says, you don't let your, what was it? You can't, wait, where is it? You're so much stronger than you know. Do you believe that? Did you feel that with her? And I have to also say, you know, we are quick to compare people that we meet, but your voice is unlike any voice I have ever heard. And that's a good thing. There's no comparison. You know what I mean? And whistle? Okay. When the last time you whistled? Okay. And I mean, in harmony and flow, she was whistling, okay? I was like, okay. I gotta go home and try that. Haven't done that in a while, but thank you. You are so much stronger than you know. Beautiful, beautiful. So I wanted to talk this morning. I went to the second Women's March yesterday, and while we were on the mall, of course, there were a host of inflammatory comments on posters and signs. But the one thing that I recognized most was our common decency toward one another. There were brothers in that crowd with their little pink pussycat hats on, and I mean, they were not going to be denied that they stood in the gap for the sisters there. And I said to myself, this would have been unheard of 10 years ago. You know, we went through a period of the suffragette movement and the civil rights movement, and somehow, some way, we elevated and moved to the suburbs. And we kind of forgot about what it meant to step out and stand up and leap forward, jumping into that area that feeds your passion. It was almost as cold yesterday as it was at 2008 Obama's inauguration. It took me 4 hours to get warm once I got home. But everybody stayed. And whispers through the crowd that, well, it's not as many people here as it was last time. So what? We get caught up in the things that really don't matter and that stifle our growth and development, that really what's the word I want to use? They really put like your foot on the back of someone's neck who has a dream. You can't do that. Who you think you are? What you got to say? I don't agree with that. I don't agree with this. Who do we think we are? That we could prohibit anyone from standing up and being their authentic selves. You know, we are man, we are woman. Everything else is a subtitle. Black man, white woman, Jewish woman, Muslim woman, those are all subtitles that you have accepted rather than being who you were created to be. You have no other architect than your father, your mother, your everything God. I can't speak to who you are or who you should be. I would love to have a voice like that. I can celebrate her voice, and hopefully you can celebrate mine. I know what lane I'm in. You follow me? Do you know what lane you're in? Why you minding other people's business? Who's minding yours? Steve Harvey said, God will accept you with all your flaws. If you keep moving on your path, God will change your life over time. God will take all your mistakes and failures and package them up for your own good. But you got to be the one to jump. We all sit back and we coulda, woulda, shoulda. And at the end of the day, I had my chance, but I didn't. But you are so much stronger than you know. How many of you have a dream? Since this is Dr. King's weekend, how many of you have a dream? Where is it? Is it in here? Or is it out there? You can't make manifest anything in here. It has to be made manifest out here. Do you follow me? Now, we use the analogy of jump. When you jump out, and I have not done this, so I'm using my imagination. When you jump out of an airplane, you've done it. Yep. I live vicariously through Cheryl, at least on that note. You just don't put on a backpack, parachute, go up in the plane, open the door, and jump out. There's preparation, right? How many of y'all preparing for your dream? Tell the truth. You in church. Is it written down somewhere? Raise your hand. What kind of preparations are you making to manifest them? Are you doing what you have to do till you can do what you want to do? Raise your hand. All right. Let me tell you something. When we were little kids, my grandmother said, when somebody gives you lemons, make. And my heart goes out to my brothers and sisters who are being affected by this shut down. It ain't no joke. But by the same token, it's a mighty opportunity. If you've been dreaming about doing something, there's no better time. We have to learn that we are so much stronger than we know. That failure is just an opportunity to know what not to do the next time. I'm a Netflix kind of binger on the weekends. And a couple weeks ago, I binged watched this show called The Travelers. Anyone ever seen that? Okay. Now, it's a little, I'm not going to get into the depths of it all, but as it stands, there are extra intelligence that want to come and save or alter some of the events on the planet in order to save millions and millions of people from catastrophic kind of things. It's not gory or anything like that. But this particular episode struck me because it represents so much about how we go through things or not. And this was a time when the group was planning to do something. They had to be at this specific place to meet this asteroid that was going to hit the Earth and what have you. And anyway, they were trying to beat it to it or go retrieve it. And it was in this water, which in the future was not there. So they did not anticipate having to go through this. But the nuts and bolts of it is, when they got ready to get into their little plastic canoe, up comes these scuba divers, and they shoot them all. So they can't complete their mission. But go back in time, they send someone else to come down and to warn them. The first attempt didn't happen or didn't work. So they do a reboot. They go back up. Second time, it didn't work. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9 times. In the right order and synchronicity did it match so that they were able to avert them being. Does this make sense to you? You got to see it. But the long and the short of it is they did not quit until their mission, these people were saved. Now, how many people would have gone the third time and say, oh, this is too hard, I can't do this? You're so much stronger than you know. And this girl that jumped out of the airplane, who was to be the catalyst to help warn them and all of this, 9 times this chick jumped out of this plane. And each time she picked up another. The first time she went, she got stopped by a pickup truck with a dog in it. So next time she comes, she takes the sandwich from her friend and she gets to the truck. The dog barks. She gives the dog the sandwich and takes the truck. Do you understand? Each time you fail at something, your definition, you pick up something to take you to the next adventure. But you got to pay attention to these things. The little things, the most insignificant things that you may think are the big things that will just nudge you enough in the right direction or in the direction you need to go in order to receive what it is God intends for you. In the book of Timothy, it says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. How many of y'all got self-discipline? Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Well, you know, Reverend Sylvia talked to us a couple weeks ago, and she talked about being a procrastinator. Ain't no shame in it. Just admit it. You got this to do, that to do, and this to do, and you're pulling all of these things together, and you say, you're a little bit of here, you start over here, and then that distracts you because something else over here happens, and then you got to move over here, and then stop. You end up doing nothing. And then you say, I just don't know. But But what it is you have not created order in the midst of your chaos. The chaos out there is created from the chaos in here. Follow me? Strength is not about muscle power, is it? Strength is about knowing what it is you wish to accomplish. I had a friend of mine on January 21st, a couple years ago, 20th. She said, how are we going to get through all of this? And I said, God has a plan and a purpose for everything. It don't happen in our time. We have some lessons to learn. And we're so much stronger than we know. Over the last 2 years, you've seen an emergence of a consciousness that has some kind of firepower. Women, men are standing up, speaking out, using courage, unlike they never thought before. And hate is right there in front, challenging every step of the way. But you know, Morgan Freeman, who played God in Evan Almighty, says, when you ask for courage, God gives you things to be courageous about. You can sit back on your behind with your legs crossed and say, if I, should I, if only, all of those things are simply excuses. Jumping ain't easy, okay? And it takes discipline and training. You have to have a map. You know, when they jumped out of that plane, they have not just the parachute, they have those little, what do you call them, Cheryl? Those things that you grab a hold of that kind of guide you to the ground, whatever they call it. You know what I'm talking about, huh? Yeah, and the parachute, you know, because you can hold those and they kind of make it like a glider, so you can kind of orchestrate your landing. But like on the third or fourth time my girl hit the ground, she hit the ground the wrong way and snapped her neck. So you got to have a plan, you got to have a purpose, and you have to have the courage and discipline to orchestrate through the muck and the mire of what it is you want to do. Does that make sense? Now, you know, I've been a student of Tony Robbins since 2009. I'm a coach in one of his programs, and one of the things that Tony taught years and years and years ago is that there are 3 areas that you can use to challenge your fears and enable you to start to work towards fearlessness. And he says there are 3 ways you can use to instantly stop fear from paralyzing you and start taking some action. And the first one is find something you're scared of. Jumping out that plane. And I say, I live vicariously through Cheryl, but if that was something that I wanted to do, I have someone there to lead me to it. You understand what I'm saying? Roger Bannister, remember him? First man to run a 4-minute mile. And he didn't do it in an aerodynamic suit with windshield factors and sneakers that you could see through. He did it in Converse and some shorts and a t-shirt, okay? And within 2 months, there were 100 other people that had done the same thing. See, there's somebody out there doing what you want to do, and it doesn't cost you anything. Dr. Google is free of charge and always open. No appointment necessary. But you got to have a game plan. in order to leap without injury or minimal injury. And Steve talks about, you may hit that mountain, you may be scarred and battered and broken and bleeding and bruised up and all this other stuff. But as long as you stand on that cliff and you don't take the leap, ain't nothing gonna happen. You gotta be willing to take the risk. What do you have to lose? Thank you. I'll be 68 years old next Friday. Or this Friday. And one of the things that I am most proud of is I've tried just about everything. And when I talk to friends of mine and they will bring up a subject or something and I go, oh, I know, and they say, is there anything? I said, listen, I am a gypsy. I love the fact that I am a free spirit. Nothing weighs me down or holds me down. I'm willing to try anything once. And it's not so much that I am fearless. I just believe, I honestly believe, if I ask God to give me something to do, God must give me the time, the talent, and the treasure to do it. So I be begging God every day. And I'm like, you what? Do what? But I go into my plan. I would love to play the guitar. Now on my computer, you have a guitar app on there where you could actually go on there, piano and guitar app on there where you could actually take guitar and piano lessons. There's everything out there now. There's no excuse. How many made New Year's resolutions? Smart. Not going to get caught up in that one this time, huh? But you have a dream. Did you know that Dr. Martin Luther King was 26 years old when he started the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee? He was 38 when he died. And he lived more in his 38 years than many, many people will live in multiple lifetimes. Because he believed in, what was it you said? He said, you can't let the darkness at you too. Oh, I wouldn't stop here. Is that what you said, Dr. Payne? I wouldn't stop now. Can you imagine? 38, the level of maturity, the commitment to a cause. Someone who's willing to stand up and sacrifice his wife, his children, his career for a cause greater than himself that all of us sitting in this room right now have benefited from. All of us. We owe him. Truly we do. To be our most outrageous, bodacious, authentic selves. Yes, we do. My grandfather told me the last thing my grandfather said before he took his last breath was, this life don't owe me nothing. The second thing that Tony talks about is the rocking chair. Just close your eyes for a moment and vision yourself, 90 years old, sitting on your porch in your rocking chair, thinking about all the dreams and things you passed up, all those things you wish you had done. Think about the contributions you could have made, the lives you could have changed, the world we would live in. Think about those things that really, really matter to you. Now open your eyes. Did any of that have anything to do with how much money you had? What kind of car you drove? What kind of clothes you had in your closet? In the heart and soul of it all, at the end of the day, we all want to know, did we make a difference? You can lie to me, you can lie to your neighbor, you can lie to your friends, but you cannot lie to your God. And God sent you here specifically to do something. And I can assure you, and I don't, trust me, I mean no harm when I say this, it's not working for somebody else. That's their dream. God sent you here specifically to fulfill a mission He created for you, and only you. So what will it take for you to jump? Can you start a 30-day plan? Just write down 5 things that you want to accomplish in 90 days. 2 things you want to accomplish in 30 days. And even if they aren't made manifest at the end, commit to beginning. We need your genius. I was talking to someone the other day. You know those little things you have on the back of your phone that you can open up and hold your phone out on, what do they call those little round things? Huh? Yeah. Who came up with that? I mean, think about it. I mean, really. I mean, and they bedazzled them. They got them in all kind of colors and all this other stuff, but it's a little pop-up. Genius. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, but that's good too. But if you're being called, answer the call. You are so much stronger than you know. The third thing he says, change your state. My ballet teacher's not here this morning, and I was surely hoping she would be, because if you saw her on her 101st birthday as she danced right here in front of us, 101 years old, she looks amazing. She's still dancing. Have you ever seen an unhappy dancer? Ever? Where my sisters line dancing? Where the line dancers? Brothers, line dancers. Y'all, seriously, you be in the state. And that's what Tony calls the state, where your focus and your energy is only on the dance, only on the song, only on that activity. Yoga is another one, where you can only be in the posture. You know what I'm saying? That's how you develop your muscle strength, your mental strength in joy and bliss. You got to change your state from the whining and the complaining and the oh, woe is meing, and get happy with yourself. It costs nothing for you to turn on a tune and just dance in your living room. In order to get the brain going, protein is the energy in the brain, or the energy. Y'all use energy in the body that produces activity in the brain. Acid is I don't want to say cancer producing, but it's a negative producing energy in the body that creates dis-ease. You ever been unhappy when you dance? How many people dance? I did a workshop here a few years ago. One of the things was, we got up to dance. And I said, if you're uncomfortable dancing in front of other people, here's some blindfolds. You can put on a blindfold so nobody can see you and just dance, your thing. And there were people that stood there like this. I said, how in the world you ever gonna manifest something in your life when this is all you can do? You have to be willing to rock it out. Change your state. If something's not working in your life, change the way you look at it. If fear is occupying your mind, your mindset, you got to change it. And the only way to get rid of fear is dance it out. Sing it out. Yoga it out. And finally, in the book of Deuteronomy, it says, be strong and of good courage. Do not fear nor be afraid of them, for the Lord your God, he is the one who goes with you, and he will never, ever, ever abandon or forsake you. If something isn't working in your life, it's there to teach you. The only thing you have to do is receive it. You don't have to become it. Just receive it and the lesson it brings to you. God is my source and my salvation. Whom should I fear? God bless you.